Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Gomza Open Source Podcast. Today, we are diving deep into the world of knowledge management systems, specifically the crucial but sometimes overlooked aspect of tracking knowledge changes. I'm looking at a system that we have deployed for our use internally is Gomzo E-Board Systems, and what struck me and what drove me to have this conversation that invited you to is how we were managing changes into our knowledge base. And it reminded me of how we as software developers track our changes in code using control versioning systems. In knowledge management it should be the same way, because you have a protocol, or you have, for instance, a body of notes that is changing. You need to keep track who is making these changes, what are the changes about, what is the rationale behind them, and therefore a discussion about tracking evolution of knowledge in knowledge management systems. I'll be showing our system, how we go about tracking and managing these changes, but I have to mention reasons as to why we should pay more attention to changes in our knowledge bases. And number one is trust. Users can see when content was updated, by whom, and the rationale behind it. The rationale, if you're a software developer, the rationale is usually a commit message. But now, in terms of knowledge management, that should be a change log that says we are changing these because of these and that and that. The other reason as to why knowledge evolution tracking is important is it would act as a safety net. If a revision introduces an issue, you can easily revert to the previous stable state. I'm sure software developers, especially the ones who deal with enterprise systems, will relate to this. But now this is in the spirit of knowledge management systems. Then finally, tracking changes allows for collaboration. Imagine multiple contributors working on the same on the same knowledge base entry. Version history lets everyone see the edits, and we will show that, avoid conflicts, and ultimately create a more comprehensive resource. So basically, knowledge shouldn't be stagnant in a knowledge base. It should be a living document, constantly evolving alongside the field of knowledge it represents. So without further ado, let us dive into it. I have opened deployment of a knowledge management system that we are using internally is Gomzo E-Board Systems, and I can click on a particular knowledge item and I will explain. So typically this particular system arranges knowledge as a bookshelf. So what happens, you have a shelf that has arranged knowledge in books, and if you cascade down from books, you have pages and chapters. So if you want to remain more organized in your books, you'll have chapters that classify various pages. So that is what I've opened. As you can see at the very top, I have now what you would call a book, and the subject is programming notes. Under programming notes, I have a chapter that has a single page. So you can see I have Python utilities. Under it, I have a page called deploying logo or script, whatever it does. So the essence of this is to show you I've opened the page, The essence is to show you how changes or revisions are tracked. On the very right, you see I have a column called details that goes ahead and displays the number of revisions that I have, what was the latest changes, who has updated these changes, this particular bit of knowledge lately. So I can either go to revisions or where we have a clock icon, revisions. So I'll click on revisions. So it takes me to page revisions. So this is where now you can see from the first change to the last change, number 4. And you can see we have the page name or editor type created by, that creates an ownership of the changes, and the change log. Ideally, that this should be a very meaningful message to create the context around which changes were made. So what the change log allows me to do for this particular entire functionality, I can preview, I can restore. The topmost version is the current version. So the script in its current version, it's on its most latest form or in its up-to-date version. So when you scroll down, for example, let us take the second change. You will see there are 3 actions. We have changes, preview, restore. We begin with the restore. Restore means you're reverting the current state to a previous version. You can see we have version 1, 2, 3 to 4. So if I decided to restore, it means I'll be the current version I'm restoring to. That would be the most up-to-date version that the viewer will be seeing. Preview just shows you the current state of your knowledge, and changes shows you what has changed. For instance, if I click on changes, I should see the changes that were introduced to the knowledge painted green. So green means these are the new entrance to that particular knowledge based page. If I go back and click on the third change log and click on changes, it will show me what was added at that particular point in time. So therefore we are saying changes as the knowledge evolves are tracked via revisions. So if I scroll down, I can see anything that's green was added at that particular point. Another thing is to show ownership. So this change, the one in green, it means it was created by an individual 1 week ago, and it shows who did it. That is the essence of controlling changes in your knowledge base and tracking them. The other thing is changes. It is good practice to have a change log, and a change log explains what was the rationale behind that particular update or change. Wrapping up, I would want to say that the essence of this discussion is that knowledge shouldn't be stagnant in a knowledge base. We expect knowledge will evolve alongside the fields it represents. And absolutely, think of it as a conversation, not a monologue. By tracking changes, you create an audit trail, a record of that conversation, which is invaluable for future reference and collaboration. So my final thoughts are tracking changes or revisions is quite important. It helps in maintaining accuracy, fostering trust, and empowering collaboration. By enhancing a growth mindset for knowledge within your knowledge base, you ensure everyone has access to the most up-to-date and reliable information. Thanks again. Till next time, keep safe. It's Gumzo Open Source Podcast.